I might die tonight, but if I do, I'm a...
Love thyself. Knowing there's a problem at hand to begin with.
Okay.
Here we are, we're back at it.
We're back at it. Welcome to the season 2 of the Might Diet podcast. This is not what we had planned, but here we are. Big Schmedo.
Thought it was a perfect opportunity to get things cracking while we're in this situation. And we thought, let's do it, let's act on it. So we're doing it.
Here we are. Long story short, the plan was to get the podcast back going again. I've been pretty busy setting up a little area in my office and all that stuff. And literally the day before Big Schmedo fucking done himself a mischief, we were literally talking about getting back into it and making it all happen. So we just thought, why not take advantage of this? I'm here, I'm talking shit. Let's spend an hour talking shit with some cameras on and have a yarn, Schmedo.
Yeah, and I brought it up to a couple of the nurses earlier today and they thought it was a great idea. So I thought, call Chano, let's run with it, because I don't want to be back in this position again to make this doable. So while we're here, we might as well make it doable.
That's it. On that note, if anyone, I feel like, and we were talking about it, I feel like we could be the first people in history to do a podcast in a hospital. I don't know if we're right or wrong.
With one of the podcasters injured.
In hospital. So look, obviously it's been a lot of time since we've yarned and had a bit of a crack.
Yep, there's obviously going to be a whole lot of new audience here.
And that's another thing too. I feel like
from your stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of new people, but a lot of OGs will come back for this one because I think they've all been waiting to know what we've been doing. Schmedo.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's obviously, that's been a lot what we've been doing. A lot of people probably think that, you know, I guess me and Shane lost touch in the way of a friendship and all that, but that wasn't the case. Things were a little bit, you know, just up and down there for a bit.
Oh.
Matthew,
Yes.
Valium.
Oh, yep.
Allergies.
We'll get into this topic later on, ladies and gentlemen. You've just ruined our podcast, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm just joking. Yeah, we're podcasting.
Sorry.
Nah, I'm just
Looks
joking.
like you're about to skate or something.
Ride bikes, same thing, different smell.
Yeah, I know.
What a spin out for that to roll in and
Perfect
happen.
timing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check you.
Yep.
No allergies.
There.
Thank you.
Might have to beep some of that one out. It might not be information for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
When you start again, we'll walk back in.
thank you. No, that's all good. It makes it
adds
entertaining.
character.
Yeah, it makes it real. It's all good. Shows who we really are. Where were we, Schmedo?
There's the friendship thing and where we kind of ended off and how it stopped and was pretty abrupt, I guess. People that were continuously watching and enjoying what we were creating there for a while. It wasn't really for any other reason other than that path went a little that way.
We were also probably pretty quiet about it, publicly too.
100%. Because don't get me wrong, there was a little bit of like aggravation there.
There's heat
between the two.
Yep.
And it wasn't because of anything like direct personal, I don't think. It was you had your ideas, I had my ideas.
Yep.
I was in a state when we were doing what we were doing.
Yep.
And I was wholly and solely there, backing you, helping you, doing the thing. And I was finding my feet through that whole time.
Yep.
And found them, I guess, pretty quick and realised that I wanted to do something for myself because of the inspiration of people like Shane and other mates that I seen running their own businesses and things like that. And I knew I had what it took to do that for myself. So I wanted to do that. And I guess...
It also did move fast. Like you sort of, that's what you said there. It was, I don't think either of us expected it to sort of peak as fast as it did. Like we thought it'd be a bit of a slow burner, slowly get into it. But the truth is, as soon as you sort of said, I'm doing a business and this is what it is, you were booked.
I was done. Like I till this day, I can still honestly say I've probably had maybe max 2 or 3 days to myself
Yep.
since I started taking on jobs in the workshop and working on bikes and doing now what I do completely full time. And it's only come to this point. How many years has it been now? You know, it's
2.5, 3?
since we stopped doing
No,
this.
yeah, so I think it'd be about 2. It's been like 3 years in the grass house. So you've probably been in Balam for 2.5?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Maybe a bit longer now?
So in that time, it was kind of go, and we were definitely figuring each other's businesses out, and it just wasn't going to work with how quickly I grew, the ideas, and then how quickly Shane started to grow with the social media side of things and also the printing and everything else he's got going on. It was like, well, yeah, the grouse house is grouse and it's big, but it's not big enough, I don't think.
Well,
and
yeah, that was...
something needed to change. And I guess us being two pretty hard-headed dudes that we know what we want, and when we want it, we're going to do anything to get it. And I guess that's where the clashing of the heads come in between us two to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But there's so much history, which a lot of the OGs that have watched us know between us from younger days, that either of us weren't willing to let that shit get in between. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because now, look, here we are now, back at it, doing our thing.
Yep.
Both got our individual sides sorted out and we're killing it.
Yep.
And now we can kind of come back together and do what we started doing. But yeah, having it all going on. And I guess that was the big picture we were working towards.
And I even, obviously at the time of it all, it was all over the shop and things were happening, but I sort of even remember being like, that was like the first conversation I had with you was very much like this has to happen for us or we're going to kill each other. Like, and at the time, I don't think that might have come across like that, which I understandable, but that was always it was like, I could almost, you were very fresh in starting a business and it was all fresh in general. Yeah. So like your head was in the game. So like that's where I could I was in my own puddle of shit, but at the same time I could sort of see a little bit of, and that's, if anything, that's what I seen. I was like, we're gonna fucking punch on out of nowhere. Just one day, one of us is just gonna snap and the other one's gonna snap back and it's gonna be bad. So something maybe needs to be brought up and done beforehand, which at the time didn't rub right, which understandable.
And on both ends, I guess it came across, it got to that point where it was a little bit, our feathers were that ruffled between each other. Like Shane could say something to me and mean nothing of it, and I would take it as if you were just fucking hating on me. Vice versa. I could say something and meaning one thing and Shane taking it as a different thing, and then it was on, and that's how it kind of ended up with that first convo with you coming to me that, hey, this needs to happen or I want this to happen. And then I was like, but what do you mean? Like, I didn't see it for what he was trying to explain it to, but obviously we both see it from both sides now, but
time will always tell.
Time's always gonna fix things, but you just got to let it happen and make it able to do that. Because if we had to continue to fight against one word or another, like if you kept going at me, I kept going at you, we'd still be swimming in the same puddle of shit. And we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. But I guess we've done a lot of shit, man, in between that time.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, can I borrow
Hello.
this wheelchair?
You
It's all
can.
yours. Only if you pop a couple of monos though.
Go do a mono.
Go on.
Oh, bring it back.
So we do the monos. You know.
I didn't even think she knew what a mono was. She was like, what's a mono?
Oh, bro, we should probably tell the guys where we're at.
We're in hospital. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like why we are
We'll
here.
get to that. We'll get to why we're sitting in hospital, my dudes. But I wanted to just what you were saying before. I feel like just to set the scene a little bit more that people probably don't understand. We were obviously living together at the old joint in Melton.
Yes.
Normal little house. We were 2 or 3 years there, which was also your becoming sober, getting off the opiate sort of bandwagon.
I basically moved there Well, we did, didn't we?
I think
I
pretty
left rehab
and
moved into 68.
Yeah. So there was a good amount of time we were living together, doing everything together, day in, day out, making content, fucking creating things, building things, just genuinely in each other's pocket for 2 years. We found, the grouse house, the new factory. We moved in there together, and I don't know, how long were you there for? A year?
I reckon it was just a bit over.
A bit over, yeah.
It was, let's just say 12 months.
Yeah, but in that situation, we were literally sleeping in the same room as each other. There was one room, and we were in that room together. So, we'd watch the same shit on TV. We'd listen to the same music. There was a lot of points that just started to, get on top of each other. We couldn't just be alone, in a sense, which is... Well, you're a bit better now, but and after that, that's all we had. So once it went from that, it was like, all I am is alone
I'm lonely.
now.
I'm so lonely.
Do you want to come back, Matt? But I think that's sort of what, for just the people out there that sort of understand the situation we were in. We were almost no home, no diddy in these times. We weren't really... we were in a fucking relationship without the
That's how it felt.
we were
the actual title.
Gay couple without being
we weren't,
gay.
bro. No, we fucking weren't.
I don't know. I reckon
To paint the picture, that's kind of as best as you can put it. Without, we were mates, best mates, and that ended up being as if we were in a relationship of the niggling, but
who's cooking tonight?
Yeah,
crazy
legit,
shit
man.
like that, bro. I'm not cooking. I can't be fucked. Well,
You've left all your dishes in the sink. Can you fucking clean them? I'm not doing that. You clean it. Shit. If there was a missus, you kind of have that little bit of meh, 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 and then it's oh righto, she's gonna rip my balls off.
I'll do the right thing. Where it just gets to fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's I don't give a fuck. So
yeah,
it had to happen. It had to change. There was a lot that there was also a lot that it was great for. It was sick because it built us into the people we are now and can continue doing what we're doing. And I'm pretty happy to say that we're pretty good at what we fucking do now.
Yeah.
And that would have built a lot of that up.
Yeah, and I think from knowing where we were sort of going there, which was always somewhere, but there was just that weird... We were playing in each other's backyards, where the truth is we do need to have our own little backyard, so then we can just invite each other over, sort of. And I think that's where now looking at it, it's in those 2.5 years since you've been gone, what we've both done for ourselves,
huge,
massive. We're almost at the point where we are dude, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. My business, it's working. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere if I continue and
Hence why we are now doing this.
Yeah,
right
I guess
now.
we're literally at the point where we can.
Yeah, and this was
we're
only
not run
spoken
down.
about. Since I kind of brought it up. I think you brought it up to me a couple of weeks ago, and it has been spoken about minutely over the last few months. Podcast. Want to start it again? Want to do it again? Cool. And then now this has kind of come about, and we're at this.
I was always in saying that too. I've been building my office, building an area to podcast. It had always been a plan for me to go back to podcasting, and whether it be by myself or with you, that was more the question in hand. It was are you able to sort of come back and be regularly on it? Or if not, even if it's not that, even if you just pop in, once every 2 or 3 weeks when you can, and I do other ones. But obviously the main aim would be to have you on deck the whole time. Yeah. But also I understand that life can get full on as we're sitting here and doing it here, that might not happen either way. But at the same time, I've also built it to a point where I can still do it myself. I don't 100%. Actually need you, but it's always going to be better when you're there.
Definitely. And I'm in the same position of every time it was brung up over that last few months and that.
Yep.
I was always keen as for it. But I only actually said on Saturday when we loaded the bikes up before this shit happened, that it was we were talking, we're at Shane's joint in the office, and it's the podcast stuff was there, and he kind of brought up we want to start it again. and asked the question there and then last Saturday, where are you at with it? Like, what would you want? And I was like, well, I want to be a part of it. Yeah. And especially I want to do the first one again, because, all the original people watching and the people that we got feedback from, they loved it. Yeah. So it's like, it only made sense for us both to come back in and do it. Not to say that it'll be like that, like Balls was just saying, maybe not every single time, because I am busy and I've got my own things going, but I'm going to do my absolute best. I want to be there every time, because, it was something that we created, our thoughts, we got to.
And it was, I also, like, one, it's always just good to sit down and have a yarn with you. Two, I truly believe the impact it had outside of us was greater than anything.
Yeah.
Like, people cared, and when people care, they take new steps. And like, whether it be we might have, changed someone to be like, hey, don't do drugs and fucking get on this shit, or take this route, or, try a little harder here, or look in, like, we were always sort of trying to give advice, and the feedback from all those podcasts was always really good. And to be honest, it's been a massive struggle not being able to do it for so long, because you run into those people that sort of, that the podcast was maybe their only link to us. They're like, I don't care about your riding bikes, and I don't care about your shitty movies you make, but I love what you've got to say, Borgs and Schmido.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
And I think they're those little things that's always kept me going and being like, man, this does have to go back. There's our connections, dude, is like, bro, we fucking know some of the coolest cunts out there. And like, it's all it is a phone call away to be like, hey, do you want to come talk about some real shit?
Yeah.
And they're all down for it. So it was always going to come back. It was just obviously time.
It's all timing.
Working it out. And the fact that it sort of has all come together the way it has is pretty fucking good. This is random as, and I love a bit of randomness, so that's always good. I'm just going to change my camera. I've like untracked myself.
Yeah, and we didn't expect it, obviously, the first one to be in this situation, which we will talk about in the position we're in and where we're at right now and why we're there. But it was just kind of, opportunity was there, and it was like, well,
you sort of said it as a joke, to be honest. You were like, "Oh, you're going to bring the podcast stuff in, and we're going to have a talk," and I was like, well, I'm not going to say no to that.
That's
a fucking good idea. Like, and I think it's also one of those things too. Like, I'm the sort, I'm fucking anal. I like to make things right. So like, I'm dialing in that podcast room, and I'm telling you this now, it's going to blow your fucking minds.
Yeah, it will.
But there's also that little thing in me when someone goes, "Hey, let's give this a crack." It's like, fuck all the quality and the detail and all that shit. Let's just do it, because I know that a lot of the time that's when shit hits, because it's natural. And that's why, as soon as you said it, man, I was like, dude, that's a fucking good idea.
Yeah. And I think because I just got transferred to here last night and couldn't have done it in the last hospital I was in. It's too crowded, too much shit going on. It was hectic, it was loud, all the above, where this one was a little bit more laid back, more space here. Next door neighbour actually left this afternoon, so we've got an open
literally got a room to ourselves.
Full big one. So it was like, it's all kind of just unfolded and happened, and it was basically like the saying goes, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and this feels like it was meant to be. So
it does.
It's
it's crazy, but anyway, which doesn't make sense. But honestly, life doesn't make sense.
No, it'll probably make sense in months to come, years to come,
or in
whatever.
10 years, everyone will be like, you did that first podcast in the hospital, and that's just what kicked it off. Well, yep, that's why we did it.
Remember the very start, I don't think we even did one episode of the Might Die podcast, wasn't it? Talking shit with Seamus.
Yeah, it was the Seamus perspective, I called it, and it was one episode when were you just out of rehab?
I was just out, man, and the episode was about talking about my addiction and my everything, and it's just a spin out that I think I even said in that video podcast, whatever, Seamus perspective, like, I don't ever want to be back in that same position. And here we are doing the redo of the Might Die podcast in hospital due to a fuck up on my end that I never thought that I would be back dealing with. So it's a little bit of that whole full circle thing, but again, going back to it made sense to do it. And here we are. We thought, why not? Let's hit it.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, we're currently in Williamstown Hospital. I guess we could probably run into the situation. So me and Big Schmied have got ourselves a couple of 1, 2, 5, 2 strokes, right? We love a bit of a dang and a rang and a brop, right? Actually, a brop's not a dang, but yeah. Long story short, what did we do? We hit the bush up maybe a month and a half ago or something.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of a bush sesh together, which was the first like big bike ride we'd had in fucking
years.
10 years, probably. Yeah. Fuck, crazy. And then, you know what's funny too, and I haven't actually said this to you, but I had this conversation with Matho. I was literally sitting there talking to Matho about when it was happening. I think it was the night it was. And I was like, it just hit me. I was like, bro, I'll let you. Oh no, you're just bringing that back. That's right. That's all good.
What have you done to your foot?
I fell off a motorbike. I didn't fall off a motorbike. I slipped off a foot peg of a motorbike and hit the ground and broke it and shattered it.
See, motorbikes are dangerous. Don't use it again.
Motorbikes are dangerous, but they're also lovely things.
They're pretty fun.
Oh, this kid.
This kid. Oh, shit.
So anyway, yeah, what I was going to say was, I'm sitting there talking to Matho, blah, 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 just about the bullshit and just sort of like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, it just hit me. I was like, oh my God, dude, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. We were riding like...
I thought it.
Did ya?
Yeah.
You've already been
like,
fucking
fuck you,
balls.
Shane.
This fucking cunt hits me up
There
in the
was
morning.
no
You wanna
jumps
go to...
in the bush, Shane.
Me hits you up, bro, Ride Park's open. You want to go Ride Park? Yeah, let's send it. But I was like, oh my God, it's all my fault. I was like, I should have just... Do you want to just go riding out the back of the paddock, Schmedo, and stay safe? No, I was like, let's go to the track and fucking... So anyway...
We still got a little bit of that.
We had a rip. We had a bit of a rip. Long story short, we went to Ride Park, which is just the local moto track for us. 5 laps, I think we both did before our arms couldn't hold on anymore. And we pulled up and had a little bit of a talk going. My arms were fucking killing me. But anyway, that was sort of how it went down. And then...
One of our other mates rocked up.
Yep.
And he was just coming to watch with his son. So I was like, oh, yeah, Matho's here, cool.
And I said, do you want to go over and see him? Or are we going to have another rip?
And of course, old mate Rippo over here goes, let's have a fucking rip. And took off, and we took off together a bit, doing our thing. And it was a little bit, why we went there, have fun. And it was the last jump of the lap of the track.
I think there's one other little one.
Yeah.
But it's like the last decent one. It's like the big, it's a decent little popper, not like a ski jump sort of.
And then, just kind of got a bit excited and knew that me mate and his son were in the car park, which this jump was alongside of. And I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but I always...
He's a show-off.
I always seem to just get a little bit excited, and I thought, how good would that be to see just Sage's first time watching fucking Schmido do a little bit of an airtime, just like taunting, do a taunt. But all I did was taunt my leg. I got a bit excited and the throttle opened up a bit more than what I liked to, and the old 125 stock suspension didn't like dealing with too much pressure, and it just went straight through the suspension travel, obviously transferred into my legs, and my left foot slipped off the foot peg and just
on that
jammed
note,
the ground.
and did it fall off front or back?
Nah, back.
So it's fallen off the back ways,
because
and then
I always ride on
on your toes,
balls of my feet, in between the balls of my feet and my toes. So I was up on height.
Yep.
It wasn't on the heel or anything. So it wasn't like the foot peg collected my Achilles if it slipped off in front.
That's because and went under.
Nah, it was like a backwards
and the
slip.
ground's caught it and ripped it back.
Yeah, but there was that much force because I was obviously the overjump was enough, but it was more so the height of the jump with the load landing that they have on these tracks.
Yeah.
And the force was that hard. It just went it felt like there was not even a foot peg existing on my bike.
So you don't even feel. You didn't even feel it flip.
feel the foot hit the foot peg. It just went straight to dirt. Just buzz. And then it just went numb, and it felt like my toes were at my shin. It was folded. It went hot, tingly. I got all the feels through the head. Obviously, not the first time it's happened, so I'm aware of what these things feel like. Didn't come off. Rode straight back to my car. Turned the bike off, pivoted my ass off the bike seat, straight onto the tailgate of my ute. By that time, Borg's come over, grabbed my bike, and I just laid back in the ute and grabbed my leg, and I knew that there was something severely wrong.
Well, I think as you were getting off your bike, that's when I was pulling up, and you were like, "I broke my fucking leg, man," and I'm just like, "What, cunt?"
But you did ask me. You said, "What's wrong? Something's happened."
Yeah,
You're
I did.
I seen something. What happened? I was like, man, I broke my leg, and it was so I was in a panic.
Yeah, I did ask you because it was weird because we'd taken off and it was like because you'd cut the track, you pulled off, and I was like,
Straight after
I was
that
like,
jump.
fuck, he's keen to go see Matho.
Yeah,
He just said he wants to do a lap, and now he's going back to the car. This is weird, but it's even crazier too. Like I was saying, I was fucking 5 bike lengths behind you, and I overshot the exact same jump. I don't think I flattered it, but I was I remember coming, I hit it and was like, uh-oh, brace for this. And I said to my old man yesterday or whenever it was, I was like, it was one of those jumps where you're like, I'm fucked. Oh, how good. But then I look up and you're riding off the track and I'm like, what's he doing? Why is he going back? I thought we were having a rip. Sort of followed you in, and then as soon as you got to the car, you were a bit when you can tell someone's trying to look where to lean?
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to find that spot because they can't just put a foot down. And I'm like, what the fuck's he doing?
Yeah.
And you're like, I think I broke my leg. And I was just like...
That's a spin out to know that you were in the air going oh.
Yeah.
Because I was in the air going...
It was sweet.
I was ready to just and pull out. I wasn't going, fuck. Because I was only there 3-4 weeks before on my 450. Obviously a little bit better suspension, newer bike, all of the above. And, I could overjump most of those jumps and just give it and it'd not a problem pull me out. Where the 125 doesn't have so much go. And so I just thought, crack the throttle a little bit just so you don't slap your wrist down and hurt anything. But I maybe didn't realise how long I went.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I fucking misjudged the whole bracing, holding on, because that was probably another reason too, the foot slipping.
Because you were just
I
chill.
was just I'm going to land and keep going. But it wasn't the case. I landed and fuck me. Mate, that feeling is going to haunt me for the rest of my time because it's just something that it was something else. It really, really fucking was. Got back to the car, spoke it out. Weirdly, pain wasn't bad.
Which was another thing from my perspective, who's watched you go through your whole ordeal. And like I sort of said the other day, or whenever it was, but you handling it made it not as realistic.
100%.
I was sort of look, this motherfucker knows when he's broken a bone. Everyone deep down does. But once you break a couple, then you've just got this, your soul will tell you that it's broken. Your mind will always play tricks on you, but that's also what I was sort of watching him do. But there was no, most of the time when someone breaks it, there's that breathe. You had none of that, bro. There was one moment where I reckon you laid back and had a couple of deep breaths.
Yeah, I was.
And then I reckon that's when I went and grabbed a different camera and got a couple of weird shots. But genuinely you were very coherent.
Yeah.
And very look, I think this is what's happened. I don't want to believe it, but it is what it is.
I think there was a couple of things that played into that of the whole being so coherent. It was me, one, not wanting to believe that because I swore to myself that this would never happen again. I can't have it happen again. The surgeons and the doctors and all the orthos and that have told me if I'm to do something to my legs again, there's potential chance that you won't have feet anymore. You're going to lose them. There's not much more we can do to them. So,
there's a literal, in in a harsh sort of putting that in terms. Like it was pretty much if you fuck your legs again, we're cutting them off.
Yeah.
Like that's in the harshest sort of like you.
And
I feel like you were
signed-
trying to button that up, but the truth is, it's like you fuck up again, we're cutting them off.
Yeah, and I did sign paperwork for that.
Yeah.
In my last surgeries in Queensland to say that I may come out of these surgeries with a certain limb gone or whatnot. So obviously all of that just flooded straight through when I felt what I felt, and I knew the feeling wasn't good. But what played a part of being pretty content, I feel as well, was like not wanting to believe it, and secondly, I didn't want you guys to be like, oh no, like again, here we go. This is Schmedo back on the fucking downhill fucking slope. Oh my God, nah, deal with it. And then the third thing that I think had the biggest part to do with it, we didn't realise how bad it was.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was as bad as it is, and now we know what's wrong with it, it was probably in shock and didn't know how to send the pain to the brain to let me know how bad it was, because it took a couple of hours, and before I got into the hospital to get the CT scans and putting my feet and ankles on different angles before it started to really go, let me know that this is severe, this is something not good, and all the above. And obviously because of the damage from prior injuries and multiples, and then they're both fused as well on top. So it was just so much stuff. So I don't know what it was that allowed me to go through that time and speak normal, drive to the hospital with my mate, playing with his 15-month-old son in the back, talking to him, keeping him occupied, to then get to the hospital and then that night experience some of the most fucked up sensations and pain and feelings and all of the above. It was a crazy fucking journey.
It really does put it down to like, that's how strong your mind is. Because I was sort of, as you were saying that too, we did all convince each other that it was dislocated. You know how you do that in those situations? Like where you were like,
looked dislocated.
That's what made us all go, look, that's going to be the best outcome here. We're all betting on that. Yeah. We're going to stick with that. No stress, bruv. It's just dislocated. You just got to go to the hospital. They'll pull it back in. And that was like our mental state. It's okay. Like, so I think, you know, that probably had a massive impact on it. But it just comes down to being like, you know, that mind over matter. Like obviously a shit ton of shock and adrenaline is pumping through. Like I said too, I feel like there could be that because you have done that full reset and you've sort of got clean again and now you're like rejuvenated, but nothing like this has happened yet. You haven't had a survival, fight or flight mode. So now that you've had that situation, it's like there is all this new built up whatever that juice is in you that goes, right, we're in trouble, just push that into him so this soldier can keep fucking soldiering. It was like you had so much built up from your reset that it just went, and you went, bro, I'm not even fucking sore.
Yeah, and
like crazy.
Definitely like everything that I'd been through before rehab, through rehab, after rehab, I'm very mentally strong now.
Yeah.
I was always pretty mentally strong when it comes to certain things.
Yep.
But now over the board, I'm pretty fucking mentally strong, and I can take things on, hectic things, crazy things, take them, understand them, not react to them.
Yep.
Take it all in, think about it, and it's not just like fuck, fight or flight, go which way, let's go, let's do it. Just hang on a minute, chill, let's take this on, let it do its thing, and let's figure it out the right way. And, you know, being older now as well, I'd been through it enough. There was no real, you know, like disappointment in the sense of, oh, fuck, now I'm going to miss out on this, or oh, fuck this. Yeah. It was just the legit thing of, I hope I am okay in the long run. I don't give a fuck for anything else other than being able to heal up, go home to me missus.
That's a good point.
Have me dog.
Yeah.
You know, spend time with the missus's kids and do the things that I want to do now.
Yep.
So it wasn't, I'm not chasing anything anymore. I'm not trying to be the next best fucking rider, FMX, tricks, this. I've been there, I've tried that, I've done it, I've whatever. It's not.
Bro, that's huge. You know what it is? This is, you care about you now.
Oh, yeah.
Then you didn't. We didn't care about us. We were like, fuck, my body's going to destroy itself for it to get to the top.
Yeah.
Like, that's the mentality we all had.
Whatever I have to do.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And I think now it's just like you said, it's as simple as just being like, well, no, like, I want to be able to fucking walk when I'm 80. And that's more important than like anything else. So like, that's the stress, but it's also like not really a stress because you know you'll get there.
Yeah.
It's not, but
it scared the absolute fuck out of me.
Oh, at the time.
At the time I was. That's one thing that surprises me, how content I stayed in that time. Not
Same.
because of the pain, not because of like the, you know, it hurts or fuck, like whatever.
Like you should have just broken down and been like, I'm fucked, boys.
Yeah.
They're going to cut my fucking leg off.
Yeah.
Like that could have been a reaction to that. In the back of the
Yeah.
car, you could have just gone, I'm going to lose my leg, cunt.
Yeah.
And said it, and then we would have gone, fuck, don't say that. And then you would have gone, nah, I probably am.
Yeah.
And then it would have just been a
And this is
full
the reasons
downer.
why.
Yeah, because they've told me all this, and like, bro, I can feel it. It's fucked. I'm telling you, they're going to cut my fucking leg off, bro. Like, you could have had that mentality, but I guess you didn't, and you came into it with like a...
I was positive, man.
It'll be right.
It would be right. And
Yeah.
even like down to... It obviously worked to a certain degree. Like, don't get me wrong, my leg's no good right now. But with the fusions and the plates and the things that were still in there from the previous, what I did on the weekend just gone didn't interrupt any of it.
Yeah, which is massive.
It went everywhere else bar those places and destroyed the good part of my leg that I had left, which is probably a good thing, but I didn't really need that to happen either.
Which is also, does that, you know, like in saying that, and I feel like, is that sort of thing where like, that's sort of, unless it goes really bad and really fucks up where you are, but like technically your whole foot's stronger now. Your ankle's stronger because you've got a pin. So all that force is going to go, can't break here, next weakest point, up here, crack, cunt.
Yeah.
And plus there's added force because it didn't actually break where it was meant to at the start. So all that force is like times 2 till it got there.
Yeah.
And then blown it to pieces.
And the part that blew to pieces was the bottom of the, like, you know, foot, leg, joint.
Yep.
This area here is what blew apart. So I've broken this part of the leg prior and had a metal rod from knee to ankle down in that one. So there's a lot of calcification down on those 2 bones. In this part, the foot, from the toes back to the ankle is completely fused. So that's super strong. This part in here was just like, I wouldn't say new, but it was the best part of the foot, untouched. So that was the part that let go because everything else outweighed it in its strength.
Yep.
And this is the part that shattered, which obviously at the time of it happening, I wasn't to know that. No one was to know that. We don't have the X-ray vision. I knew what I was feeling and it didn't feel good. I was just hoping to God that was the case, that these orthopedic surgeons and nurses and doctors and everything that have been helping me now, which are nothing but fucking awesome, could get in there and repair, because I was told with the previous ones, like, pretty much, long story short, from those orthopedic surgeons, just don't do it again because we can't fix it. And if you come in with another broken leg, we're cutting it off. So that's all that was playing in my head the whole time. But lucky enough, there is slight room for improvement and movement in there. And it looks like that they are going to be able to do what needs to be done for me to continue on as normal as possible without doing any crazy things with it. When I say crazy, amputations, all the above. What they have to do to this now is still crazy and next level, but it still could have been way worse.
Yeah, definitely. On that note, what are they telling you is the plans for this? Like, where are we at?
All right, so with the cage that's on it right now, that was basically because I crushed the the leg into the foot. They kind of went together and blew apart, and there's a lot of different pieces in there. they've put this temporary cage on, they've pulled it apart under X-ray, and then basically tightened up the external bolts to hold it at that distance, to be able to make the foot feel like as normal as possible in its state now, to get rid of swelling, to let it relax, to then allow the swelling to go down and the fluid to disappear. And then hopefully the start to mid next week, I'm going to go back in for another surgery, get this one removed, and it's either going to be an internal fixation with plates and screws to keep it where it sits now, or they're going to put a semi-temporary, a temporary halo on, which will be on for anywhere from, I think they said 3 to 4 months. And I will be going home with that. And if that heals after that 3 to 4 months, I won't need to get any internal fixation. And the reason that they're doing that and not wanting to put any internal fixation in there is because all my bones have so many holes, screw holes, plates in there, the fusions. There's not a whole lot of structure in there to be able to start screwing and bolting because it's already been done. And if they go in and do that with the already deteriorated holes and screws and all the above in there, they could just start screwing a screw in and it'll break the bone.
So the halo is almost actually a better option.
Yeah.
It's a long option, but it's the best option.
It's the best option.
Rather than just going in and right over off.
That would be the quick pit stop.
But it's also, you don't really want shit stuck in you forever either, do we?
No, well, especially prior when, we were talking about it before, I'm not going back to chase anything. I'm not going back, and I never want to fucking deal with this ever again in my life.
Yep.
So I've said to them, whatever you guys have to do, you have to do, and I'm happy to do that as long as the outcome's good and I can work and I can walk and I can do the normal fucking things.
Yep.
But yes, the halo would be, the long-term halo would be the best option, because then I'm not adding any hardware in there on top of what's there, and there's not going to give the potential chance of bone chipping and breaking and deteriorating and getting brittle.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, the halo would be a good thing, but it's a long time, man, at home with a fucking metal cage around your leg for 4 months in hope that it's going to do its job. You have to sit that 4 months
and then be like, has it worked? Oh no, it's fucking grown in the wrong spot.
Yeah, so you're going to have to go in and put that internal fixation in anyway. So there's a lot of risks still happening, hence why nothing else is happening yet with this. I'm sitting it out until Friday this week. All the orthopedic surgeons from Sunshine Footscray, from what I can gather, are getting together and having a meeting about it, and they're all going to kind of put their minds together and come up with the best solution of what's going to work for me. And then obviously they'll come and tell me and speak to me, and I'm hoping by mid next week they will put me under and get it kind of all happening. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long road, something that I didn't think that it would be, especially after our tailgate talks at the track, just dislocated, we just pop her out and we'll be right, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So, yeah, it not good, but again, as I say, could have been way fucking worse.
Yeah, you still got your fucking toes.
Yeah, that's right. And look.
Yeah, and they move.
2 of them still work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I guess that we're not here to just talk about this. It's just giving everyone the understanding and obviously why we're in a hospital and doing this, and that's basically why we're here. And it was a great opportunity to jump at it because, Shane had a bit of downtime through his hectic life, and I've obviously got a lot of downtime right now, as much as I don't want it because I can't have it because I'm also busy with work and everything, but I have to sort myself out before any of that can continue on.
Yeah. So I feel like just the other thing that we probably should touch on for either anyone that maybe is new here, we'll sort of tell the little bit of the story, but then also anyone that's a little bit worried that knows the story, we're going to clarify it real good for you.
Any of the newbies, what up, dog? You
Yeah,
probably don't know me.
This dude was addicted to opiates, which is endone, Oxycontins, and a little bit of obviously your Valium and stuff is
Valium.
mixed in there.
Methadone.
So there was a 10-year addiction, we put it at that. So yeah, which all started from this same situation, breaking a leg, riding dirt bikes, have a pill here, I'm sore, and 10 years later, high dosage of pills, living off the pills. Anyway, this was, fuck, how long you been good for, bro? 4?
No, this is the fifth.
Fifth. Yeah.
So we're going
So this is
fifth
5 years ago. 5 years ago, he got clean, sober, killed it.
And if you want to know the ins of all of that,
There's plenty of
there's other videos.
Go suss me other videos. They're all there. You can actually see the whole time when he was getting sober, we were doing shit together. We were living the dream. It was mad. Now, this being a thing, this being a topic of like, there's the whole fear of relapse, if you will. Where do you sit with that one, Shmedo? Tell them how you feel, because I know how I feel, and I should probably tell it first.
Yeah, well,
you're the
'cause
answer.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's more so, it's not really us, it's the other people that are semi-close, not close, that have got, I feel this like, oh, fuck.
There's a worry. And to be honest, in the very, very back of my mind, it's in there too.
Always.
Right? But I was there next to you that whole time coming out of it, and I don't have any...
From rehab.
From rehab, yeah. Like, you getting clean, I was sort of like by your side the whole time.
Yep.
I don't have any worry about it.
That's sick to hear.
Like, and going back to even what you were saying before, I know how mentally strong you are through coming through that. And just the conversations we had, the person you are now compared to all that shit, it's just sort of like, I mean, hey, you could fucking eat, I could eat my words right here and you could relapse tomorrow and I'll be like, well, boys and girls, I was wrong. But
that ain't gonna happen.
It's nah. And that, I've just, again, that's from my point of view, from my perspective, and everything I've seen and everything I've seen him come through, and the change in how much, like, you love life now, like how much you appreciate everything. It's like, I just cannot see you even considering going back there.
And I've got a lot more to strive for and live for now.
Yeah.
Than what I did when I was putting the hard yards in rehab. Like, I didn't have anything before I went to rehab. I just went, click, I got to go.
Yeah.
I need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, there was a few good reasons why, but it was nothing like of my own. It was for kind of other people's situations and reasons, more so my sister, her kids, my niece and nephew. I wanted to be a good uncle. That was one of the biggest things. Where now I've got my own personal things that I want to continue being the good person that I am and continue to living the way I have lived for the last 5 years for, like my missus, her kids, obviously all my family, all my friends. Borg's the one that helped me, put in a lot of time and effort while I was in rehab, helping me, doing the thing, like, you know, coming to see me, visiting me, picking me up, taking me here, taking me there. Like, I'd hate to let any of that, any of those people down. Yep. And more so, I ain't letting myself down, because if anyone has ever walked the path of addiction and gotten through it, yous will very well know it's not an easy path. It's a difficult thing. It's probably one of the hardest things that one human will ever have to do and deal with. And the fact that I have done that, I'd be the major dickhead to slip back into it. It's unfortunate right now that I am in this position, but I've just been sidetracked as a nurse. 2 seconds. Wait.
No, you're right.
No, you're
it's all
right.
good.
Come in.
That's
You're
right.
right.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
It makes it more entertaining. It's like, makes it real, you know. I think you were pretty. It is what it is. It's not in you anymore.
It's not in me, and like, if anything, I should be the worried one right now, going, oh my God, could happen, and I'm worried for this, but I'm not even one bit in the slightest concerned about it. And I think that's what's been a big spin out with this, because this is so severe looking, but I'm sitting here going, I got it, don't worry about it. Like, I've built way too much in my life between businesses and just all of that to then throw it away just because of this one mistake. so it's definitely something that isn't going to happen, and I understand the people that are out there that have known me for a long time or known me for a short time via the things that me and Shane have done in the past. There's probably massive concern there.
There's a bit of a fear in everyone, 100%. And like I said, it's deep in me too, but I also know that I was there, and I can vouch and be like, dude, it's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and honestly, if it was going to happen, it would have already been done.
You'd be into it. You wouldn't be communicating right now. You'd be off your guts.
Yeah, it's the time that needed to pass has passed, and yeah, this is just unfortunate.
Is this actual timing? You're about to get it right now. No, it's good, man.
No, this is perfect. Like, this is why we're kind of done this.
We're literally talking about it. It's good.
I can do this later. It's not too serious.
No, I can't. Like,
because
if you want
this can be edited.
Yeah, that's all good.
So it's fine. You don't.
As long as you don't want to be on. If you
I
don't.
don't want to be on it.
Yeah, no, that's cool then. Yeah, that's all right. I'll cut that stuff out.
We'll turn all that off.
I'll just be
We'll be right back.
Oh fuck! I just moved.
No, that's all right. Down again. Doesn't like tracking. That's tracked you the whole time,
Whole
bro.
time,
It's
man,
been
yeah.
grouse. We're just having a bit of tech talk here, ladies and gentlemen, but we're back on.
You're
The
gonna leave
nurses
him there?
left. I'm gonna move my camera over here again. Get that.
While Boggs is doing that, just one thing I got to say: these doctors, nurses, surgeons, all of them, I have to really praise these guys. They're nothing but fucking gods. They really, really do a good job, and without them, people like me would be fucked.
Yeah, no, it is. That's as much as I have my opinion on the medical Western world. When it comes down to, if you're broken, man, these dudes will fix you. And it just that.
I don't even think it's about fixing. Like that's an added bonus. These people are so genuine.
Just like look after you.
They're great people.
Yeah. You can't beat that shit, man. That's grouse.
But I kind of we've slipped a little bit where that was going. I think it got close to the end of that conversation. And
Yeah, I think
what I was explaining, but
it's not going to happen.
It's something. That's right. The relapse, the things, the people that are worried, and all the above, which I fully understand, and it's not going back there, and you know. Everyone can hold me accountable to that, because if something was to go back into the position, please, all of you, ring me, message me, say you're a fucking flop. You're a dickhead, you lied to all of us.
I'll be the fucking first one. I'll be like, bro, you know that podcast we did and you said all this shit, bro, you're making me look bad.
You made me look like a fucking
You're
idiot.
tarnishing my brand.
Coming from Mr. Professionalism. Fuck
Professionally
the professionalism.
unprofessional, fuck off, dickheads. But yeah, no, look, I think it's sort of one of those things that I don't see it being an issue. And I think it's sort of one of those things that if everyone sort of understands it from what we've just said, you can not make it an issue in your head too. Put that positivity up your woo-ha and be like, bruv, this kid's going to be popping monos again in no time. Coming soon, edit.
Yeah, 100%.
Schmeat does wheelies. It's coming soon.
But this is just a really unfortunate situation, and I was devastated, and I'm spewing that I'm here, but it doesn't matter. We're not dwelling on it. We're not worrying about it. We're just getting through it, moving forward, and continuing on the good times. And in saying all of that, there's plenty of that stuff to come. Good times, whether it's individually. Obviously, our good times happens when we link up and we do cool shit. Everyone's told us that. You love that. So there'll be much more of that coming, because we're both at the point with our businesses and our crazy lives that we're kind of getting that time to go, okay, we can think about what we want to do to start having fun again and creating that content, or just...
It's not full weekends and late nights anymore. There's a little bit of structure around
heaps,
what we've done, and we do have that time now, which is... even just saying that out loud is actually pretty fucking crazy. Like, even like recently, like having The Apprentice, all that sort of stuff, like I'm having like normal days now, like you're 8 till 4:30. It's like, all right, once I've dropped him off at the fucking thingo, I come back home, it's all right, it's pretty much time for dinner. I light me fire, I feed me dog, I make me dinner ready, all right, I'm sitting down, I'm gonna chill. It's like, I mean, I'm me, and I'm still gonna, by 8 o'clock, I'm like, bing, what am I going to do in the shed? But just that
What
little
have you
bit
done
of,
to control that? Anything?
oh, I pull myself back a little bit, but I also know like that's my fire.
But so
Shit comes out then, and if I write it right, it's good.
when you're binging at 8, 9, 10 o'clock, are you still, 2 in the morning, head on the pillow?
I've been pretty good. Like I pull myself up. Like most of my bedtime is like 12 now, rather than 2. It
And
can get to
still-
2 real easily.
100%. But you're firing at what time? In the morning. You're up and about.
I get up at like 7:45.
Yeah. So it's a routine.
Yeah, because I've got to pick the apprentice up.
Yeah.
Like, so he's put me on it, like, which
That's
it
good.
saved my ass,
That's
man.
good.
Fuck yeah, because it's like, bro, if I don't answer this call, I mean, if I don't get up to this alarm and get in my car and go pick this kid up, he's at the train station by himself.
Yeah.
Like, that's a massive thing to sit on.
And you're fucking him around.
And all that.
And if you were in his position, you wouldn't want to be fucked
Yeah,
around.
all that shit, bro, And like, he's a young kid that just wants to come in and make it happen. So like, it's like, I'm like the preacher of don't be a shit cunt.
Yeah,
and then
that's
I
what I
just
mean.
be a shit cunt boss. Like, it's like, nah, man, I've been late once. He has been there every single time. And that's even crazier because I'm like, bro, he's good. Like,
That's so sick.
There's never that, like, I think he's had one day off when he was sick, and he was genuinely sick because the day before he was in and he was like, but he's still
You know what
pumped
that
through.
comes down to, man, and I can see it. He thrives to be at work with you.
100%. Yeah,
It's
fuck
not
yeah.
a normal job.
And he's also, I think it also comes down from, like, I mean, not to, like, bag anyone else, but I think he comes from a good family, bro.
Yeah. That's major.
His parents are fucking good people. His older brother's a good dude.
Yep.
He's had good influence his whole life that I like, fucking go do it and get your work done, and like that's what he does.
But like let's say he was a Sparky because his dad was a Sparky and he
Course.
followed suit.
Yeah.
And then 3 years into his apprenticeship or out of his apprenticeship, he's like, man, this shit's
Yeah.
I'm good, I can do it,
Yep.
but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Where I feel with something in what he's picked up through you, which is so lucky because it's minimal.
Yeah.
People like you.
Yep.
And he's got that, and I reckon he's well aware of what he's got and the position he's in. He ain't finding that anywhere else, man. He don't want to fuck up.
Yep.
He does not want to lose it.
And like he is, man. He's literally, he fucking shines in everything that needs to be the person next to me. So, you know what I mean? Like, took him a little, like, it's actually pretty fucking crazy to like teach someone something that you just do naturally, like at the start it was a bit weird. It was like, fucking put a bit more pressure down, can't we fucking do it, but that was learning for me, man. I was like, fuck dude, I've just done this so naturally that I've never been like, hey, this is how I actually do it.
Yeah.
So like I had to like learn myself to then teach him, and then like it took him fuck all. Like he's pumped out some jobs now where I'm like, bro, that's fucking mint. Like,
Yeah, awesome.
also made his mistakes, but fuck, we all do. We've all fucked up. There's no
gotta do
point
that.
that you got to make mistakes to have that little bit of like, oh shit, I'm going to go harder next time. I can't.
Never gonna do that again.
Fully. So like, but like me, yeah, I just think he's already like, bro, he's already like a little version of me. It's like, I'm making t-shirts, I'm going to sell them at a ride out to all the kids. Like,
See.
that's what I did. I just didn't have me there telling you exactly what to do. I had no one. I had to do it all myself. I can be like, bro, do it this way. This is what I've learned. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
You do it your way because that's how it's always going to be. But take this hint from me that can do it like this, bruv. And, he sort of does go, yeah, like he'll take it on. There's certain points where I can tell he's like, fuck you, dickhead, I'm going to do it my way. Which I respect that, you know what I mean? Like, hear me out, tell me, fucking shut up, you old cunt. It's not how we do it anymore. It's young cunts. Cool. But there's also that thing where he is sort of like, yeah, I reckon he's fucking right. And I've never thought about that. And I'm going to run with that. So, like, that's sick. That it's like, fuck yeah, like, this is a little version of me, man. Like, he wants to have his little brand. He wants to go out and make video clips of his mates riding bikes and him riding bikes. Like, that was me.
That's you, yeah.
Like, so it is. It's like, and I think that's where, I think we both know that. And it's weird that I'm actually, like, I haven't really said this out loud, but he's probably going to watch this and go, oh, true, I've been thinking the same. Or he's like, nah, I fucking hate this cunt. He's a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
I was going to quit yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think like that's sort of, But they're all things that at the same time too, like I haven't spoken, no one knows any of this. Like I've spoken about this to mates and friends, but I publicly, like, you know, there was a couple of little posts of like, yeah, I got an apprentice, you know, yeah, he was with me at Summer Nats. If you watched that, you could have picked up on it. But like, no one knows the ins and outs. Like every day I get in my car and I drive to Gisborne because he's from Bendigo and he catches a train that takes him 2 hours every day to Gisborne. I pick him up. He jumps in the driver's seat because he's on his L's and he can drive me while I'm on my phone.
There you go, Gizzy. Pick him up.
Gizzy, every day, bro. 45 minutes up, 45 minutes back. 2 hours of my day gone just to have him there. And plus, I don't know if anyone knows, but that Gizzy Hill's steep and you use a lot of fucking fuel. I'm like, we're on the Terry because it's on gas, bro.
Nurchy.
Yeah, we roll down this hill, kiddo. You better not be on that accelerator.
Inside joke. You'll get it.
The OGs will know. The real OGs will know that one. The old fucking Nucci down the hills. But it's like, man, like how can I fault this kid? Especially when you've got all these shit, you know, you talk to all the other boys that have got apprentices and they're like, my apprentice didn't come in because he, like your dad said before, because he bit his fucking toenail too long. You know, oh, I've hurt my nail, I can't come in.
Bit his toenail too long.
I knew why, man, and I knew I fucked up too. I was just going to let it slide, but you had to bring it up. Oh, shit. But man, like, that's what I mean. Like, he's never once been like, I'm fucking sick.
A little bit of apple juice.
Yes. So, yeah, that's always happening. And he's probably, once the podcast gets going again, he's going to be my main man behind the desk. So, the whole setup, I've sort of set it up so there's like, yeah, obviously Mike's the old podcast system. And then he'll be sort of sitting there and it'll all be recorded live. So there won't be like any editing later on. You know how like after we do a podcast, I'd go in and edit it for a fucking hour and a half and chop it all up. He'll be doing that live. So like saying right now, all these cameras will be coming through the computer. He'll be going, right, Borgs is talking, keep it on Borgs. As soon as you start talking, he'll click it to you and then that camera will jump to you and it'll be all one file ready to go. Where like with this one, I'm going to have to go back and chop and change and make it all how it fucking flows. But I was like, oh, whatever, it's the first one. Let's give it a crack. Let's get the ball rolling.
Because we haven't done it for so long and you haven't had to sit down and do that monotonous chop and, it's the same as yesterday or last week. You're probably a little bit frothy on it and you won't mind doing it.
Yeah.
And I got an apprentice there that can sort me jobs out while I do that. Or if I feel like, you know what, kiddo, you can chop that. And like, that's another thing where he's sick too, man. Like the other day, like, it's like, if there's points where like, okay, he can't print this or it's a little bit fucking technical and I just want to smash it out, it might take him too long, whatever the fucking situation is, it's still that like, all right, bro, well, I've got this edit going on. Do you want to just jump in there and like reline everything? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no worries. Like he can fucking do half the shit that I'm like, shit, bro, you fucking did. I didn't know you could do that.
Cool.
Like, so like the potential with the media side with him is massive. Like, so right now it's more just like, look, let's get you warmed up so you can sort of run the shop a little bit without me. And then once that's good too, I'm probably going to pull you off. No homo. Let me finish my sentence. Pull you off the screen printing stuff and then put you into the media sort of side of things and then maybe even find someone that's just sits there,
happy to
prints. Because like I can tell he likes it, he enjoys it, he probably gets as much out of it as I do and did. But he wants to make movies like me. You know, he wants to fucking, well, not movies, he just wants to be creative in that sense, not like the t-shirt. And I totally get that. So it's like, I'll find someone that's just keen to just go, look, man, you pay me my fucking wage, I'll come in, I'll work 8 hours a day, I'll fucking pump these screens out, I'll get my shoulders massive and I'm stoked. Like, but again, this is all a time thing. Like, man, I'm still juggling with it. Like, bro, you know what was crazy? You know what the craziest thing is about having an apprentice? At the start, I've done everything myself. Yeah. So like he rocks up and I'm like, okay, bro, you do that. All right, give it a good, you got that, you got that. You're sick, you've got that.
Now what?
What the do I do?
Yeah.
Like, I've got so much to do. My list is through the fucking roof. But like...
But you should be doing the thing he's doing.
I'm doing that. What the fuck do I do? Like, bro, there was a month and a half where I was just like, this is so fucked. And then it was just sort of like, okay, get your ball. Like, I sort of worked it out and figured it out and got all the ball rolling and sort of had more of a goal, other goals for myself because it was like, these have only been my goals.
Yeah.
Job comes in, get the job done, shut up, do it.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing it. What do I fucking do? Fuck. Crazy, man. But again, that's one of those things that's just sort of slowly becoming way easier and all that sort of shit.
And this is one of the many things of why it's taken us so long to get back to do this, because there's so much in between our two individual lives now that has been happening, you know, and that's just one thing on Borgs' side. There's probably 10 other things on Borgs' side, but there's also 10 other or 20 other things on my side too. So that's where that gap's been. And yeah, it hasn't ever been that because he hates me and I hate him. It's just we've had shit
It
going
happens
on.
in life. It's one of those unfortunate things that is just a reality of life. Is like you will separate from those people that you enjoy spending, like that. You will move away, and like you've got to almost do fucking crazy shit to bring it back. Like you've got to go out of your way to be like, fuck yeah, bro, we're riding this weekend, and now we're here doing this. But like, or like, bro, no, we really have to do this podcast.
Yeah. But this
Let's
has
make it
brought
happen.
everything.
Which is like
taking that one step of like, let's go riding.
Yep.
It's not that crazy of a step. It's just something we wanted to do. Something crazy come out of it.
Yep.
But then it's also not just between me and you. It's brought a whole lot of people together and like, you know, linking up again and come and see you. People coming and visiting, and then, you know, other people are here while those people are visiting.
And they haven't seen each other for 20 years.
They haven't seen each other, and then it's like gives the opportunity to have the conversation of, next weekend we should all, or when Schmitto's out of hospital, let's do this. So if this didn't happen or we didn't organise the ride, we'd still be all sitting stagnant going, I wish that could happen one day. Where it's just action. You got to do it. If you're not acting, you're not doing, nothing's going to work.
Yep. Fucking hell, I've just noticed that one's dead. But we have been rolling for almost an hour 20. So
That's usually like
that's a pretty good sesh.
Yeah. And there's so much more that we could talk about and cover.
Heaps.
In this situation and where we are, it's getting to the time where visitors are starting to have to leave and whatnot, and we want to kind of pack down, and I want to organise my room and shit before Shane goes. But yeah, I guess that's your job to do outro, but I just want to say, you know, if you guys do want to see more of me and his mug together again, doing what we're doing, the podcast more so, like I'm willing and wanting to do this just as much as what he is. Well, we will obviously be introducing guests and having some really good fucking guests come on.
Yep.
Shane's made that clear to me that he wants that to happen. There may be the odd times that I can't drop in because of my life and what I've got going on now, but I'm going to make it a thing that I try and get to the majority of, because I feel that, you know, that this is good and we're good at talking and having conversations and all the above. So you should, if we get some good feedback on all of this and you just want to see more and you think it should continue, definitely dump it down in the comments or wherever it's going to be and let us know. Hit Borgs up, hit me up, and just let's start it up again, get it flowing, and let us know what you want to hear.
Couldn't have said it better myself, but that's pretty much it. Definitely any sort of feedback is always good. Any sort of questions that we can say, you know, if you want to drop a heap of questions in the comments and then we can answer them in the next one, that's always an option. And I think that's a good way to sort of start doing it, is to be able to have a bunch of questions and stuff. But we can always have a good yarn. Long story short, the next one will probably be in the setup, which I've been hanging to do. That's going to be a mad drop. You're going to be hanging to see that. I've given you little bits of teasers if your eyes have been on the ball. But that's just started again. No, it didn't. It just flashed once.
I've seen it.
Anyway, look, we're getting technical. That camera's dead. I can't believe these two cameras are gone. On that note, if anyone needs a grouse camera, go out and buy yourself one of these DJI Osmo Pocket 3s. They're the best. That's why my stuff looks so good. It's not because of me and my 15 years worth of filming. It was a joke. It's clearly me.
I was going to say, it's got a fair bit to fucking do with him, man. Don't think you're going to come out and be fucking Spielberg, because you're not.
You know, it's on this topic, you know, it's funny. I posted something the other day. It was like when people go out and buy a camera and think they can be the photographer they am, and it's just like laughing. But it is. put it this way, I don't want to like shut anyone down with it, because I feel like I love that I can inspire people, and I love that I can make edits that make people go, I want to go get a GoPro and make edits of me. Don't stop, do that. But I've been doing this shit for 20 years. It comes very natural to me. You won't get to my level until you've been doing it for 20 years, unless you're a fucking fluke, and you can always fluke it. I fluke shit still on the daily, but I don't know. Anyway, just go get a camera and make shit happen. It's just not going to happen on the first day, brothers. All right, cheers. Tip of the day. Anyway, that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen.
Hopefully the last time from a hospital bed.
We're not doing this again. Might Die Podcast, Season 2. Get around it. Whoop to the whoop.
Have a look at that, boys and girls.
Oh, look, we finally lost your head because it's picked up me.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, pass it over.
Give it back. Nah, oh, fucking Jesus. But anyway.
There we are. Look, we're doubling it up. We're using this one.
Yeah.
Cheers, legends.
Right on.
See you on the next one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Go get yourself a t-shirt or a hat. They're pretty sick. See ya.
My die!